Hi and welcome back to another Premiere tutorial. My name is Arnold Faller and in today's episode we're going to talk about titles and credits. So how to use text elements. There are different methods to do this. Let's get started right away. So we are here in Premiere 2020 and right now I am in the editing layout. So I've used the editing layout here for my user interface and I'm going to start with bringing in any footage. So I'm going to use one of my 10-second clips that I have used before. So if you haven't watched those videos, make sure you check out part 1 and part 2. So let me get a couple of footage files here. And I'm going to grab one of those footage files and bring it into, pull it down onto the new folder to start a new sequence. We're going to start with a very simple text element, and that is, you've seen it down here. Here's a type tool, and once you use the type tool and click into your video, you can start adding text. So here's start adding text. Once you do this, you notice that there is now a text element above your video. The text element, of course, can be moved in time or it can be made shorter or longer. The text element, you only see it, of course, when the time slider is here. To edit the text information or to edit the font and so on, you can do it in different ways. One would be you select your text element, and then in the effect controls on the left side, you change your font style. So let's just take anything. You know what? You can change your font. You can change your size. You can change the fill color or the stroke color. Let's just fill it in almost bright red. And of course, if you want to change its position, you just change it by dragging it to a different position, or you can go up here into the position. No, the position is always the same. You just add it by placing it at a different position there. The next thing is, so that is quite simple. Now the next thing is, if you want to blend in or blend out the text, is what we're going to do is we use the same transitions that we had in our last video tutorial. So you go to effects, you use video transitions, dissolve, and you take a cross dissolve, and I'm going to place one here at the end, and now you can see that the text is fading out and fading in. The only thing that is not quite handy with this new text tool is the fact that the text is not showing up here as a scene asset. If you want your text element here as a scene asset so that you can later on at a different point in the video again pull it out, there is a different way to do this. But this is a very simple way to get by using the type tool. The next element that I'm going to use is one that is in the new version of Adobe Premiere is obsolete, so you can, but it's still in there, so you can find it under File, New, and you will find all the legacy things here under Legacy Title. By using the Legacy Title function, it asks you what size do you want the title. Of course, we want the same as our sequences. And that opens an extra window here, which basically shows the same video picture that you had right here at the time that you are right now. And the video that you see, basically now you have all the edit functions for text. So you can choose here a plain text tool, blah, 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 blah. The same thing here. You can select it, you can scale it larger, choose different font size, style, colors, whatever you want. He's here. Also, there are some styles that you can use if you like some of the ready-made legacy styles. Let's make this a little bit larger. Also, this one. Then you got all your styles. Let's go for one that is really, yeah, like this. So if you are ready with, or if you are satisfied with how it looks like, your title, you just close the title editor, the window, and it will automatically show up in your in your project window, and it's called title 1. So if you want to include it into your timeline, just take title 1 and bring it in here. And there it is. Blending it in, blending it out works the same way. I would suggest that you use transitions to do that. Of course, there's other way. If you see this now and you're more, if you see this and you're more familiar with Premiere, then you might say, well, why don't you animate the opacity? We're going to do that a little bit later, animating certain values. So for right now, blending in or fading out a text element, I would suggest to use a simple transition there. Okay, so that is the file new legacy title. That's the legacy title function. Later on, towards the end of the session, we're going to have a look at credits, so all the text that is running or that is rolling at the end of your project. We also will be coming back to do it with the legacy title here. So now I'm going to kick out my 2 titles that I already have. And now the next way that I'm creating a title is I'm going to do it in Photoshop. To do this, I have Photoshop already open here somewhere. There it is. And I'm going to create a new picture there. So here's create new. And when you create a new picture in Photoshop, you can choose from different templates, and there's also a bunch of film and video templates. And of course, here is some presets, and the one that I have is 3840 by 2160. So here's the 4K video that I'm choosing, and here's my document. So a pretty simple way. Now all you need to do is use whatever you want in Photoshop to create a title or any other graphic element. So you can, let's type something like this. I am going to change the color for that. You can place some effects on it. You can change the size here. Type it in. Let's make it really large. Let's make 80. And so on. You can all try all kinds of effects. And just to show you, I'm also, here's my title. I'm also going to add another layer to it. Let's put it underneath, and under layer underneath, I'm just using a simple paintbrush, not this one. Edit, undo. I'm using a simple soft paintbrush just to paint anything. Let's just do this. Okay, so what I have now is I have 3 layers, actually, my background and 2 additional layers. What I'm going to do is, sorry, I double clicked it. I remove my background. Now it's even more clear, and now I am moving both my title and my graphic element or my line to a little bit further down. There it is. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to save it as a Photoshop file. Save as, and I'm going to use a PSD file. So where are we? We are here, and let's call it untitled, sounds fine. PSD file. So I'm not going to save it as any picture format. I'm just keeping my Photoshop PSD file, and I am back in Premiere. And now I bring my PSD file here into my window, untitled 1 PSD. When you bring in the file, you're asked, do you want to merge all layers? So I had 2 layers, the text and the graphic element. Do I want to merge all my layers, or do I want to bring it in as individual layers so I can individually turn one on, one off, or bring in the whole sequence? I'm going to do it as individual layers, both of them. Okay, and there it is. It comes in as a folder, as a bin, and inside there are 2 layers. So now I can drag them into my timeline right away. So I can either take them both, or I can open up my bin, and, for example, take in the text alone. There it is. It's pretty small, the text, and also my graphic element, and here's my line. The good thing by doing it by using the Photoshop file, I can anytime go back into Photoshop, go in here and brush a little bit more. Let's brush this. So all I need to do is quickly save it. And once I'm coming back to Premiere, there it is. Okay, so you kind of you can use all the live painting features, and of course not painting, but you can use graphic elements and so on that are here. I also recommend to use 2 different layers, because what if you want to move them separately? For example, I want to move the line alone, so I can take the line and move it to a different position, even though it's at a certain place in Photoshop. I can anytime change the position of it in here in Premiere. Okay, so that is a good way to create the title in Photoshop and simply update it once it's already inserted. I would create more than one, and I would create, you know, the beginning titles, or some titles during the project, or maybe some lower thirds, you know, like titles that name a person or something like this, so locations. Okay, good. So that was the way the workflow by going into Photoshop. I am kicking those out again. And the last one that I would like to show you for titles or for any kind of text element is by using the essential graphics. Up here there is from the editing layout, we're going to change to the graphics layout, or if you don't want to change to the graphics layout, you can also open the window for essential graphics. I'm going to go into the graphics layout, which basically moves everything to the left and brings in a new element that's called essential graphics. And essential graphics basically is a huge database of graphic elements, mostly text elements. For example, here's one, of course, that I just browsed down, and here's your title here. So if you want to use this in your project, all you need to do is just pull it in. What it does, it changed the title. I don't have the same font style as used here, but it brings in the title, the film title, and it adjusts it to your project settings. So no matter what size of video you are running, it will be adjusted so it always looks kind of as it does here in the preview. Also, this title is animated, so it's not a still title, but you can see it even has this lens flare thing that pops up, and then has the title, and then as in every movie title, as in every trailer, the title slowly gets bigger, and then episode name and so on. To edit this title, of course, I don't want your title here, I want something else. You have different methods to do this. First of all, you can select it. On the left side, you can go to Effect Controls, and you will find out, wait a second, there's so much stuff here. There's text and animated animation nodes, keys, and so on. So you either can change it here, but it's also simple to change it here on the right side. So select the title and go to the right side and make sure you're not browsing for a new title, but you go to edit, and then you can edit a kind of different things, how long the intro is and the outro and so on. And also up here, for example, your title here. If you click the element, your title here, then somewhere it says the text. Where's the text element? I don't find it. Probably I just have to type it, double click it, and then I can type my title here, for example, and double click the episode name, and this is what we're watching right now is episode 3. Okay, so here it comes, and episode 3 will comes up. That is all customizable. Also the blue lens, and if you don't like one thing, for example, if you don't like the lens flare here, you can also turn things off. So here's all the horizontal streak, and now I got a blur on it, see on the title, and so on. So you can all customize that. Good. So that was using essential graphics. Now we are back to, we've placed all the titles in our project, the simple titles, and even the essential graphic, the animated titles. There's tons of them in here. We are back to as the title says, titles and credits, because credits are usually rolling. That means there's some text that is running through your picture or in front of black background. To create a rolling title like this, I'll show you two ways to do it. The first one is to go to File, New, and use again the legacy title here with the same size. And all you need to do is you need to use a simple text element, and in this case I'm not using the single line text, but I use an area type tool. I draw an area and I just type a couple of lines. Yeah, you get it. So all the things that will go into a rolling title. If you need to do this, I would recommend to go into a different text editor and write everything first. So go into Notepad or any graph text editor and write it there. And now here's my text, and the text can be much longer than your pages. So you can also zoom out here and make it larger and so on. Now what you want to do is when you select your text icon, here is a little your text element. You can copy paste it from your other software, and here is a little button that defines a rolling text. So right beyond there, here is a text, and you can choose between roll, like up and down, or crawl, left and right, or still. So I'm going to switch into a rolling title, and all you need to do here is choose start off screen and end off screen. So that means it starts with an empty screen, the text comes in from the bottom and rolls out to the top. Okay, and here we go. Now the title symbol is a little different. It's not a still title, it's a rolling title, and when you bring it into your timeline, you can see right here at the beginning it starts to come in from underneath into the window, and it will at the end, the last word will roll out. So the speed in which the text is running or rolling depends on how long your title element is. So if I take it and stretch it out to about 1.5 times, then the text elements will roll slower. So there it is. And of course it's always finished as soon as the last word leaves the title. That is the simple the legacy title. Maybe you made a typo or a spelling mistake here in the text element. How do you edit it again? Pretty simple. You just go into your project window and double click it. That will open the title editor again, and you can go in there and change the text and bring in some new text and so on. You can also use a title like this, any title that you create with the title, legacy title. You can also use it, of course, more than once. You can use here's one title, and then you can bring it another time, and so on. So it can be used multiple, and you only change it when you edit it. You double click it, and it edits all of the instances that have been added. So that is, of course, it's called legacy title because there is a new way to do it. To create a rolling title with the new tool, you need to start either by placing a text element here as we did in your window, or go right into Essential Graphics. I'm going to show you both. So the first step is you choose your text tool, you type any text. By the way, you can also, let's delete it quickly. Let's do it again. You can not only create a single line of text with the text tool, but you can also draw a window and start typing. So, like this. Now here's my text. When you select it and you go to edit, you will find somewhere all the way down, it will say, no, it doesn't actually. So let's select it here once again there. When you don't select it in your view, because that will give you all the options for font style, size, alignment, and so on, color. But if you select it down here as a whole block, you can check rolling title. And when you check rolling title, it suddenly disappears, and it's the same setting as before in the title editor. It has start off screen and end off screen here, and if you watch it, it will automatically roll through your scene. Okay, so all you need to do is select it, but not up here in the window, and then select it down here and check rolling title. That is pretty quick. And again, the speed of the rolling title is defined by how long you make the title here. So now it's a pretty small one. That means the text is running quite fast and unreadable. The last method of creating a rolling title, of course, is by going to the essential graphics here and browse and pick one that is rolling. So here's one classic film, and it's also called credits, bold credits. So I'm going to take it and drag it in here. And there it is. A lot of text in it. We know how to edit it. Select it. Here you can select every name and type whatever you want. Film title, featuring the actor, music by, and so on. Because they're animated. I didn't know that. They are all moving in. I didn't know that. So let's have a look right here at the first part. So that is the text, how it comes in. It crawls in from the side if you select it. It does all kinds of things. Okay, I got all my other titles here as well. Good. So that is this title here. And if you want the first one here, the one that comes in, if you want this one to roll, of course, you can take any title from the list from the essential graphics, and by selecting it down here in the timeline, and then you hit roll, make sure both are turned on, then your title, of course, zooms in, but it's also rolling. So you shouldn't take one that is actually animated from the left to the center, but then you can take any text and turn it into a rolling title. Okay, I hope that was quite a good overview of all the possibilities that you can do with text. You can always combine the text with other graphic elements, with color bars or underlining elements and so on. So make sure you try them, have fun, and I'll see you in the next one.